What does Wall Street think about the debate that happened between Joe Biden and Donald Trump on Thursday? I always like looking at Wall Street because they care about where to put their money. And while this isn't a matter of where should we invest if whatever happens, we have plenty of time to think about that, it is going to be an analysis of what two very large institutions are reacting to when it comes to the debate. Let's get into it. First things first, Commerce Bank. Biden loses TV debate against Trump. It's obvious at this point that Biden lost. It's just now a matter of what happens from here on. And this is what they speculate on. So, first, they say that Biden came across as stumbling over answers, rambling, and having low answers, and now it's going to fuel debate about whether or not he's going to be able to last another 4 years, especially since he's going to be 86 at the end of his second term. We also know that he's going into this with very low popularity. During election night, we went through the Gallup polls and saw that he was pretty much in the bottom about 3 of presidents in end of basically third and a half, fourth year of presidency. It's not unpopular, or I shouldn't say that, I should say it's not uncommon, rather, for your presidential popularity to fall over the time that you're in presidency. You're just going to kind of keep pissing people off. That's very normal, very, very normal. Except Biden's is on the lower side of that falling level. And Biden's approval levels fell substantially during the pullout in Afghanistan. And Commerce Bank thinks this is important because we've got quite a few geopolitical issues going on now, from not even being able to get shipping done in the Red Sea. China's trying to negotiate with the Houthis, but the U.S. has its military there, and we're conducting airstrikes on the Houthis, but all we're kind of doing in the White House, apparently, with the support for, our military over in the Red Sea is just going, well,
fetch me!
Yeah, I gotta work on the timing for that. But it doesn't actually seem like the White House is really trying to solve our Red Sea crisis. And it's sort of amplified by the fact that now we're dealing with a crisis between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. As you can see, geopolitics, at least basing this on the Afghanistan pullout, are a big deal to Americans. His approval levels or ratings changed substantially after this point. Then, when we look at polls, we can see that Donald Trump has been leading in the polls, and this debate is probably not likely to help. They suggest that Biden has only had a deficit of 1 to 2 percentage points, but that might get worse in time, and there are a few reasons for this. But before we hit those, let's touch on battleground states. For Biden to actually win, he's got to win Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And frankly, Trump leads in all of those. The way this chart works, by the way, it's kind of a cool one if you want to take a screenshot of it, is Biden leads in the states where the bar is under the line, and Trump leads in those where the bar is over the line. As you can see, they're all over the line. So Biden, realistically, they say here, needs to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, in addition to having success in all of the Democratic-leaning states. So Commerce Bank believes that this is going to come down to a voter's belief in the core issues and which president they think will have a greater ability to solve problems related to those issues. The number one issue, of course, would be the economic situation, followed by immigration and the border. There's almost a consensus that the economy is the number one issue. Now, Democrats are more concerned about abortion issues or Medicare and Social Security and ensuring fair elections and healthcare than they are worried about immigration. But immigration and the economy are dominating the news cycle. It's actually surprising to me how little over here foreign relations and the war between Israel and Hamas are actually affecting voters' perceptions. See, it's all the way, my little circle there messed up, all the way here on the right versus the economy, such an issue over here on the left. And then, of course, when we get into which candidate is deemed to be more competent at solving the issues, you can see here Trump has the lead on the economy, the immigration and border security, foreign relations, and handling the war with Hamas. But those democratic issues, people believe that Biden is going to be better to handle, which are abortion, Medicare and Social Security, ensuring fair and accurate elections, and health care. So, next steps. Theoretically, it would be possible to nominate a different candidate. That's because delegates are not obligated to vote for Biden. However, Commerce Bank thinks this is only going to happen, that is, some form of flip is only going to happen if Biden were willing to support that new candidate. And keep in mind, the Democratic Party is extremely unified. Now, I personally think that might be the end of the Democratic Party unity this election cycle, but the Democratic Party is extremely united. If Obama and Bill Clinton and Biden say, Biden's staying, then Biden stays. But there is something that could change this. See, if you hop on over to what another institution on Wall Street thinks, T.S. Lombard, you see, they rightfully say that Biden stays the Democratic presidential nominee, or Biden steps aside. That's pretty obvious right now. That's almost not even worth repeating, that those are the two options here. But what is interesting is they argue that there could be, quote, potential downstream ramifications if fundraising continues to drop versus a reinvigorated Trump. See, Trump's fundraising skyrocketed when he was convicted as a felon. And now, after this debate performance, there's an expectation that Biden's fundraising will plummet. Now, this chart is just sort of a prediction. It's not an actual chart of what's going on. But the Biden administration did say that they raised $27 million between debate day and Friday evening. And they're doing this to say, hey, look, see, we're still raising money. Everything's fine. But the reality is this is a manipulation. They should be telling us what the fundraising was between after the debate and Friday evening, because that would capture the difference. If 99% of that money was raised before the debate and 1% was raised after the debate, then fundraising is going to be a massive problem for the Biden campaign. And it could amplify their weakness as Donald Trump has more money to get the word out and get the vote out, more so than the Biden camp would have money for. Now, of course, it's also possible that the Democratic Party waits for some form of unified message. Okay, we're definitely going to stand behind Biden or whatever. Now we need even more money to try to make that a success. That's also possible. I don't think it's likely, because I don't think people like throwing money after some candidate that they don't think is fit for office. And unfortunately, a lot of the vote right now for Biden is just a vote against Trump. And that's okay. People can have that opinion that they don't like Trump. But a vote for Biden could also, in that case, be a vote for any other Democrat who could carry the torch in a more reasonable manner than Joe Biden can. I'm not convinced Joe Biden can carry a torch at all. But anyway, right here it says, crucially, it will be Biden's decision whether to stay in or bow out. Right. But the problem is, and I wrote this in blue here, Biden thinks he's okay. That's partially because he can't remember the bad. Early stages of dementia, you see dementia come on in waves. You can act normal, you can sound normal, but when it comes to short and long-term memory, you're screwed. When you're trying to remember, you get frustrated, you stumble, you mumble, you jumble up your sentences. These are all early examples of dementia taking over. And I just can't see it even being healthy for Biden to remain in office for even the next 7 months. That scares me. Now, upcoming polls will show the extent of damage from Biden's debate performance, and so too will fundraising levels. Now, this is an interesting argument by T.S. Lombard. They're basically saying, hey, look, it might take the Democratic Party a little bit of time to realize that Biden's got to, frankly, go. The reason for that is they might be waiting to see what polls come in at. Now, so far, and this is all pre-debate polling shows Trump well in excess of Biden. In fact, you could see it a little bit easier here in this lower section where my mouse is. Where it's red just shows you the gap that Trump has. And that gap has been rising going into the debate. And we don't yet have surveys after the debate. Trust me, this weekend there are going to be a lot of debates, a lot of polls that are conducted, and I wouldn't be surprised if this line continues to skyrocket. I actually think it could set an absolute new high here, where this ends up moving to, say, off the chart here, 55% versus down off the chart, 35%, so a giant plummet. The reason I say that is because that's basically exactly what you're seeing over at the predicted polls. At the predicted polls, you could see Trump, before the debate, was sitting at 51, 52 cents, maybe even 55 cents, which has now gone up to 58. Where Biden has gone from 48 cents, 47 cents, all the way down to 33 to 36 cents. That's a percent of winning, basically. It's all based on $1 over at predictit.org. Hashtag not sponsored. What is sponsored, though, is Coinbase. Yeah, if you want to get yourself a free $200, you can go to metkevin.com/Coinbase, and you could sign up to get up to $200 just for getting started and creating an account with Coinbase.com. Check them out. Use my referral link, a link down below. It's a paid promotion, paid partnership. They're a partner of the channel. It's an ad, and you can get up to $200 for getting started. Now, consider this. It does also look like this Biden reluctance to drop out has led Newsom's betting odds to go from 5 cents to 17 cents and right back down to 11 cents. And if you throw in RFK, his betting odds really haven't moved at all. I think the only way his betting odds could really move would be, well, frankly, if he switched to become a Democrat again and then actually got some party support, but I don't think he's going to end up doing that. Anyway, moving in over here, T.S. Lombard actually thinks that Gavin Newsom would not be the best replacement for Joe Biden. They actually think a better option would be Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. But upcoming polls will show, presumably, hey, which competing option would you prefer if Biden were going to step down? Now, the Democratic Party doesn't really have a formal process for picking a substitute, and they're doing this weird sort of virtual roll call to nominate Biden before the DNC on August 19th to the 22nd. Part of that is because of these Ohio rules for certifying a presidential candidate. But it's worth noting that Wall Street so far has been making it exceptionally clear Biden lost, and now polls and fundraising are going to determine if he can actually survive at all. And I'm talking about in the election or campaign. Anyway, let me know what you think. Who do you think would be a replacement for Joe Biden? Do you agree with Wall Street that fundraising in the polls will be a very loud and clear message that Joe Biden needs to step down? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, licensed real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is not personalized advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show shall not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purposes of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services we may benefit from. I also personally operate an actively managed ETF. I may personally hold or otherwise hold long or short positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuer other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Make sure if you're considering investing in HouseHack to always read the PPM at househack.com.